All right, I'm very pleased to introduce to you. Look at him. Look how handsome he is. He's quite a handsome bloke. He's my publisher. How are you? Good to see you, pal.
Oh, good to see you.
Nice to see
you. Don't have to flatter me. I still like being your publisher.
You came all the way down from where? White Plains? You come from hell,
yes,
or
White
you come
Plains
from the
area.
old circuit? It's a Saturday morning. How come you didn't bring your beautiful wife, Darlene?
Yeah. Well, she got tied up with some stuff, and she's working on a couple projects, so she'll be down next time because she does want to see you.
Cool. So, you know, usually when I talk to Richard, and by the way, listen to this now, I'm one of the only writers, I think, in his crew that calls him Richard. His real nickname that everybody calls him at the office and around the world actually is what? Dutch Dickerson.
From when I was very young.
Now this is very odd. You got Dutch Dickerson, DD there, great alliteration I might add. Your wife, beautiful wife, like a model. She's absolutely gorgeous. Maybe we'll meet her one day. Her name is Darlene Dickerson,
yes, Darlene.
And then you've got a little doggy. I can't remember the doggy's name, but it's
we couldn't resist. We named her Duffy.
Oh, for God's sake! So it's Dutch, it's Darlene and Duffy Dickerson.
Exactly.
All right.
That way, we have matching luggage. It's all DD that way. See.
That's very nice, very cute.
But yeah, we couldn't resist when we got the dog to continue the theme.
Well, I appreciate this, Richard. You've been down here, coming down all this way. How long did it take you to drive down?
Oh, 2 hours and 45 minutes. I know it's a little longer than most people take, probably, but we have a little tradition we like to do. Every so often, we like to stop and rest and have pie, believe it or not.
What kind of pie do you like?
Well, cherry, blueberry, about anything. Sour cream raisins, my favorite.
You know what I like? I like that the rhubarb pie. My mom used to make rhubarb pie.
Absolutely.
And we loved it, you know, all the time we used to have it.
Well, my wife's sister got us hooked on that when we first moved to this area, so.
Well, I thought it would be, for all of you YouTubers, you know, I thought it would be a little bit interesting because they've seen my bloody face here for quite some time on YouTube, and Richard has reluctantly come on here, I think, but I see by the smile on his face he might be actually having a good time.
I am.
But can you talk a little bit about, now Richard represents me in terms of the publishing. I've got an agent too and a manager and all that, but he really does the publisher that does, you've got 2 books, but we've also got a lot of other things that we're working on.
Right.
Can you talk about a little bit about Pavilion Publishing and what it's about and what that industry is like right now?
Well, yeah, I've done a number of things as we all have in our life, and I just thought it would be a good thing to try to advance some creativity in this world. And actually, this hat represents that. As you know, we enjoy wine in addition to cognac.
We do.
So when I was out at this winery, and I got this hat. It says "Life is a Cabernet," and I got to thinking.
I like it.
You know, I've been working all these years. Wouldn't it be good to, be like fine wine, discover, new wines.
Right.
And in art, in literature. And so why not look out there for the young vineyards or the young artists, the young authors.
Hold on a minute. You're saying that Joe McInerney is a young artist?
You're young in the fact that you're just getting started. Your talent is just
emerging. Right.
The wine is just becoming.
I see. Okay, good.
And so I literally mortgaged the farm and mortgaged the land that I had and put up an investment. And I thought I'm going to invest in these new talent and new creativity and look places that no one has looked before and see what happens and enjoy that the rest of my life.
Oh, it's
I'm
terrific.
in my retirement years, believe it or not. I know I look young, but that's the wine. And so that's what we did, and we were able to find a very inexpensive facility in a pavilion, which is part of the old Nestle complex.
Right.
Up in the White Plains area.
So that's why it's Pavilion Publishing.
That's why it's Pavilion Publishing.
Oh, I got it. All right then. So what tips would you give young artists, young writers and things like that who want to publish their books? Because you're not the first publisher I've had. I had one back in the UK, and I did some, quite frankly, some cheesy books back there. And now you've kind of brought me to the upper crust of the book club, so to speak. What tips would you give somebody just starting out? How do you find a publisher?
Well, you got to realize as a young artist that you, a young author or someone who's just getting started at any age, that you don't just get good at something overnight. You got to be confident in what you're doing and confident in your creativity because it's your own, it's your unique creativity.
Right.
And you get it out there, and then you find someone like me or someone else who's sincere about what you're doing and not and really sees the person and developing the person and their talent versus commercial, you know, let's just put it out, it has to happen, it has to work.
Right.
But find someone that has great networks. Great networks with the the publishing houses, the retail, connections that can get you noticed, and some creativity to get you noticed. And that's why, you know, we encourage you to do some things in Chicago. How did that go, actually?
Well, it was actually great. Now, one of the things that you know, Richard doesn't drive 3 hours for nothing. So
no.
One of the things that he's
I do have an agenda today.
Why don't you explain what that agenda is? Because I think it's
we're working on this Hollywood movie,
right?
And I drove down here because I know that it's always good for us to energize each other, and I want to keep you on focus.
Oh, Richard, you're like a lightning rod for me in terms of energy. You know, I get a little bit lackadaisical, and then he comes down here and charges me up and says, "You better write this frigging book, or I'm not going to be your publisher anymore."
Well, that got the book done, as you recall.
That's right. That's right.
And now I'm doing the same thing relative to the screenplay, and you know, we worked that deal out so that you had rights with that.
That's
so
right.
that was a part of the deal.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's right.
If they hand out the little gold guy, you know, you're going to get one.
Well, we got to be careful now, because one thing I've told my folks here on YouTube is that we haven't got a done deal yet. All these people know is that I went into Hollywood. I stopped by Chicago to do that little bit of a signing and promotional thing that you wanted me to do, and that went well. We had a great crowd, by the way. Lines out the door. It was really wonderful. But Hollywood was great. It was. I met Roy and Elf what's his name? Elf Stavaganza, is it? I think.
Stavaganza.
So Stavaganza. I can never pronounce it, but really, what a great bloke. He's really good, and I think he's. We really shared some really good things about writing, and I learned a lot about you know, screenplays and that sort of thing. I think he's good. He's going to be very good.
Yeah, he's another one of those people that. Are in the right place, and they're doing it for the right reasons, and I think that's the kind of people that, as you talk about recommendations, that I'd steer people who are just getting started. You know,
right.
And you got to realize it's just going to take a while. It takes anything worthwhile takes a while. So you got to, you know, a day at a time, year at a time. You didn't get, you know, your first book. You know, just took a while to get that going.
Good Lord, I've been in this business for 40 plus years.
I know,
really, and it's
well, a lot of people don't have the time to put in or right on that area. They need to have the money, and they need to have a regular job, and then they try to mix that with their creative writing and all that. That's why we felt we could empower some people, that we could take their ideas and creativity and move it on to the right kind of people and help be a catalyst in their activity. That what Pavilion is dedicated to.
Now, you're also, one of the interesting things about Pavilion Publishing is that you are, in fact, centering on some British authors like myself and Sarah Couldry.
We look all worldwide.
What do you think of Sarah's work, quite frankly? Now that you're here in my home, what do you think of Sarah? She's very good. Very good.
I think she's got some real possibilities, if not movies, maybe made for TV, other kinds of short story ideas.
Right.